Because that's actually all they're interested in. They don't really care about Palestine.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, when they're using this to like they act like the Arab rulers aren't doing anything for Palestine. You don't care about Palestine. Your only issue is the Arab rulers, and you want to bring them down. You want to tear them down. You want to tear down the governments in the Muslim world and the Arab world. You want to tear them down. That's all you care about. Palestine is just an excuse for you to do it. That's the only thing you're focused on, because you're not even paying attention to what they are doing for Palestine.
Yeah, of course.
Because you don't, and I don't mean that like you don't want to talk about it. You legit don't know, because you don't follow the news. You're not informed. You don't even care enough to be informed, actually. To know, for example, the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of tons of aid that are coming from those exact countries that you're saying are doing nothing. And the fact that the Errors checkpoint is open now because of those countries, not because of anyone else. Because America has, you don't know, because again, you don't follow the actual news. You don't actually follow the news. You just heard about Palestine yesterday. So you don't know. Again, this is why we need to talk. You're right. We need to talk about the Gulf War, and to go from where we were at that time, after what you've seen that America can do or could do at the time, your response to that isn't at all what people thought. It's not what I thought. In that you realize this situation is so serious, we have to get out from under this. That was your reaction. Actually, that was their reaction. We need to very seriously plan how we can get out of this. That nobody thought they were doing that, but that's what they've been doing. And with BRICS, it's really given them a huge. It's their getaway car. BRICS is their getaway car to get out of this. Again, these people don't follow the news, so you don't know. You weren't following the press statements. You weren't following the media statements or whatever by Washington, and you weren't following any of the quotes by the people in the State Department and so on, and Blinken and all of these people, to know that they were going, America, Blinken and other emissaries from the State Department were going to the Arab countries. They went to Mahmoud Abbas, they went to Sisi, they went to the King of Jordan, they went to Saudi Arabia, they went to the UAE, they went to all of these countries, asking them to facilitate the expulsion of the Palestinians from Gaza. That was the plan. And America was totally fine with that. Get them out. That's it. Egypt, take them. Somebody take them.
Yeah.
Egypt, take them. You guys, why they would talk to the Saudi Arabia and UAE is because they know that Sisi doesn't make decisions for himself. So tell him it's okay. Tell your guy it's okay. Tell him that it's okay for him to accept the Palestinians in Gaza, into Sinai. Tell him what to do. And they said, actually, no. In fact, you can just, like I said, you can wait on the tarmac. We don't even have time to listen to your BS. We're not even going to entertain this. And just so you know before the meeting how the meeting's going to go, we're going to let you know. You have to just wait at the airport. No one's going to come and meet you. No one's going to pick you up. We're gonna have the air traffic control tower tell the plane, you're going to have to sit there in a waiting pattern, a holding pattern.
Yeah, and you've been planning meticulously for decades for this moment.
Yes, absolutely. And they've been building slowly. And the Ukraine war was absolutely a beautiful moment for all of the countries of the global south. Because everybody now has forgotten about Europe. Forget about Europe. Russia can forget about Europe. China can forget about Europe. There's only the global south now. That's all there is. There's only Africa, Asia, the Middle East, Latin America. That's all that exists now. Forget about America. Forget about Europe. Doesn't exist. Talking to Russia and China. Your only opportunities are in the global south now. Exactly. Salahuddin was able to do what he was able to do because of a confluence of events and things that had happened regionally. And of course, also because of what he himself did. But even the things that he himself did, he would not have been able to do, except that the conditions were right. And the conditions had been made, like I said before. There were certain aspects of it. There was, what was his name? Ahmad ad-Din Zengi. And then his son, Nuruddin. And his son his father was not religious, but the son Nuruddin Zengi was religious. And I remember he's the one. This is why I know about so many of the hadiths and stuff about Palestine, because he's the one who commanded the collection specifically of hadiths about Palestine and the importance of Palestine in Islam, the importance of Quds in Islam, and he ordered all of the khutbahs to talk about this, and he wanted to make this a religious issue, to make Muslims understand that this is a religious issue, because by that time the Crusades had been gone. The Crusaders had been there for a long time, and people were complacent. This is just the situation now. This is just the status quo. They're just here. That's it. This is the new normal.
Just like the Gulf states were.
The Christian European colonization in Palestine, it's the normal. It's the new normal. Just like people have been with Israel now. But Nuruddin Zengi, at a time when it wouldn't have made any sense. But he was no, they will go. They will be driven out. Because this is important religiously in Islam. We can't accept this situation. In our deen, we can't accept this situation. And in my opinion, a lot of what is attributed to Salah ad-Din, he owes to Nuruddin Zengi. But yeah, so there's a whole confluence of events that made it possible for Salah ad-Din to do what he did. The same thing that's happening now, as you said, there's a whole confluence of events. The war in Ukraine, the sanctions against Russia. That's the main thing. Not even the war in Ukraine. Who cares? But the response to the war in Ukraine, just like COVID, the response to COVID is the main thing. The policy response to the war in Ukraine with the sanctions, which again also has nothing to do with the war in Ukraine. The same way that the response to COVID had nothing to do with COVID, the response to the war in Ukraine had nothing to do with the war in Ukraine. It was because the OCGFC are changing direction. And there's so many things that are why they're changing direction. Part of it is because Europe is dying. That's a big part of it. Europe is dying. But also because these countries have done what they've done in the global south. That's not a joke. The development, the ideas, the strategy, the planning, the minds that you have now in the global south. I'm not saying that you didn't have those minds before, but they have power now. They have some power and authority. Those minds have power and authority. I mean, you can think whatever you want to think about bin Zayed or bin Salman, for example, but they have either they themselves have incredible genius political economic minds, or they have around them a shura of people who are absolutely brilliant. Like I was talking about before, nobody ever wanted or America never wanted or expected any oil-producing country in the Middle East to ever have a diversified economy. You're supposed to be a one-commodity economy that you're completely reliant on that one commodity. Now it's only 30% of the UAE's economy. That's amazing. And Saudi is going to be the same. Saudi will become the same.